Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Finn Lockwood. I am the trans program curator here at New Haven Pride Center, and I am super excited for tonight's event, Black Trans Storytelling. Before we start the program, I do want to do a quick land acknowledgement. The center was founded and operates on the traditional lands of the Mohegan, Mashantucket, Pequot, Eastern Pequot, Schaghticoke, Golden Hill, Paugussett, Niantic, and the Quinnipiac peoples. From whatever occupied land you are, please take a moment to acknowledge and honor the Native people whose lands we all occupy and the history of the places we know. To find out more about Native lands, go to native-land.ca. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first host for tonight's event, Black Trans Storytelling.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren. I use they, them pronouns. So excited to be here at the Pride Center. I'm a student at Yale, and I serve as the president of BlackOut, which is our affinity group for Black LGBTQ students. And so they've been putting on this event in collaboration with the Pride Center, with Yale's Office of LGBTQ Resources. So we're really excited. This event is really just a space for Black, trans, non-binary, non-conforming, Black people on the gender spectrum that are not cis to get together and share their art, stories, and any creation they have that's related to their expression of identity, of their expression of their experience as someone who's Black and trans. So we'll hear from tonight, for the first half of the program, we'll hear from performers, artists, Tyrell Cooper, Godwynn, and Bubbles. And so we'll hear from them for the first half of the night, and then we'll just be having a discussion. We'll do a little Q&A and give people a chance to share their art and experience as well. So thank you so much, and I'm gonna turn it over to our speakers.
Oh, hi.
Sorry.
So, my name is Ro, and I have a song. I have a couple songs for you, actually. So if you can hear me, go ahead and close your eyes for a second, and imagine a part of yourself that you've been told to hide or you've been told not to like. Obviously, there's queerness, but it could be anything. Something that you were conditioned to hate. And then I'm gonna ask you to do something really, really corny, which is to imagine that part of yourself singing this song back to you, back to the rest of you. Could it be your favorite? The one who felt you say that you've been waiting on. Could I be your favorite? Yeah. The one you mention when you say you made it home. Tell me what you want from me. Could I be your favorite? We have yet to take form now. Tell me what you need from me. Yeah. Could I be your favorite? We have I wonder what it'll take for you to say that you love me back. Are you coming with me, girl? You don't have to hide. It doesn't work like that. Oh, tell me what you want from me. Could I be your favorite? We have yet to take form now. Tell me what you need from me. Could I be your favorite? We have yet to take form. Have yet to take form. We have yet to take form. We have yet to be something. Have yet to go somewhere. I have yet to leave. You have yet to turn and walk away. Yeah. I'm so sorry I sing so quietly. Oh my God. That song is called Favorite, in parentheses form, the abridged version. I have another one, possibly two more. I don't feel close to you right now. I don't feel close to you right now. I don't feel close to you right now. But I swear I know your name. I feel people all around. And I'm sure they feel the same sometimes. I pray sometimes that I make that change, but I stray sometimes, I delay sometimes. Anyway, I hope I get to know you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get distracted by the wind as it goes between my fingers. Not distracted by my fears. Every hopeless thought that lingers still. I breathe until I make it go away. Yeah. But I'm afraid of myself, and I shame myself for letting them take me in the first place. Yeah. we're going for a quick medley. If that's okay. This is just a nice little mantra that I like. It's really simple. Everything I need is on its way to me. Everything I need flows like water to me. Everything I need is on its way to me. Everything I need flows like water to me. Ooh, everything I need flows like water to me. Yeah. Everything I need feels like water to me. What could I do? And who could I be? To mitigate the fear that lives within me. Yeah. What could I do if I could believe that everything I need feels like water to me? This is the part of most shows where I ask the audience, or I guess the chat, what it is that y'all need so that I can sing it into existence on your behalf. Did somebody comment?
Yeah, everything I need flows like water to me.
Yes, they
Lauren
do.
Essence.
What?
Lauren Essence, that's what they wrote.
Oh, boom. Does anybody have a need?
Rest.
The rest that I need is on its way to me. Rest that I need flows like water to me. The rest that I need is on its way to me. Rest that I need flows like water to me. 'Cause everything I need flows like water to me. Yeah. Anybody else?
Someone said liberation.
Hello. Liberation I need is on its way to me. The freedom that I need flows like water to me. Liberation I need is on its way to me. Liberation I need flows like water to me. Damn, 4 syllables. Damn. But if you need it, you need it. 'Cause everything I need flows like water to me. Is there anything else in the chat?
I saw peace.
Peace? You love it.
Somebody said you better sing, bro.
Oh, the peace that I need. Thank you. On its way to me. The peace that I need flows like water to me. The peace that I need is on its way to me. Peace that I need flows like water to me. 'Cause everything I need flows like water to me. Yeah, yeah. Everything I need flows like water to me. What could I do? And who could I be? To mitigate the fear that lives within me. Yeah. What could I do if I believe everything I need flows like water to me? Thank you.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. My heart.
Oh.
Girl, you need the team to turn her out. Let it go. Let it go. Let it turn it out. Okay, am I supposed to talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's your turn.
No.
Say you don't want it.
Listen here. Okay, so
Yes, we're gonna have bubbles, and you can share whatever you want. Talk about your life, your experiences, whatever you feel like.
My life?
Whatever's on your heart.
Nice. Okay. I was born up in a small town called New Haven. Poor black child. Girl, I ain't doing
I
that.
was with you,
Okay.
though.
You were with me?
I was.
Okay.
I was with
I mean, we were
you.
2 black boy children born in New Haven. No. Been here. I was born in New Haven for 55 years now. But I haven't lived here all that time. Thank God. Did I find myself here? Sometimes I did. I've lived here. I lived in New York. I lived in Germany, the Netherlands, and I traveled all through this country. And the one thing I really found out is it's hard being black. It's not easy for none of us. So, but it gets better as you get in. You find yourself, and you find what makes you happy, and that's what I had to do. And this journey that I took for myself made me happier. So now, am I gonna get questions? I'm just gonna sit here and talk, or because I don't have a guitar. So
Whatever's
I can't-
whatever's your vibe. Or you can talk as long as anything you want, and we'll keep seeing if people send questions in the chat.
Okay. Ask questions because I don't know what to talk about. Again, born New Haven. My family's here.
Bubbles, talk about your pioneering drag entertainment as a black trans woman that founded New Haven's drag scene.
Hey, auntie.
Isn't that like a long title for just it's okay. Being here, performing in drag, I mean, it started off for me, I was doing costumes for other people. And then I kind of got into the thing about, if they can do it, I can do it myself. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that in the 90s. You weren't even here, were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
2001.
In the 90s, and I went to school in New York for fashion design. And while living in New York, I met more people, more performers, and that changed my life. Because it's very freeing when you have a dual personality that you can go to. And that's what the drag was for me for a long time. Until I found out, that other persona is the persona that I needed to have on a daily basis. So, and I think in the early 200s is when I made the decision to completely just, not that I had always lived pretty much as a female, but at that point in time, I just took it as okay, this is going to be it. I changed names and all that good stuff, and that was the last of it. And since then, I've been happier. Deal with the other stuff in life, but on that spectrum, I was just happier. And as Patrick said, I performed. It's not that I'm what's the word? I'm just one of the oldest that is still here. Not that I started it because it was girls before me. But sad to say, a lot of those girls aren't here anymore due through life and some choices and people making their lives. I'm very grateful to still be here and still practice and perform whenever I can get a gig. It's a beautiful thing to see the upcoming the younger people that are coming into this scene. And I was talking to a couple of students from Yale, and it's scary that they made a comment about the colorism, and it's sad that we're still dealing with stuff like that as a community. It's just scary, and that's a subset of a community, because as being people of color, and then you go into the LGBT community, and then you go into this, and it's like we still deal with these stupidities of our skin color, of our weight, of our, at the end of the day, none of that stuff is going to matter at the end of the day. So I hope that journey for you guys doesn't last forever, because I know it can be really hard sometimes, but I really hope that you guys don't have to deal with that forever. It's once you find yourself and you get to the age where you can tell whoever and everybody to kiss your ass and just keep moving, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. I mean, your labels kind of shed, because you're just yourself, and it's not so much you have to have a label on your head, or you can just, who are you? What are you? I'm me, and it's for you to deal with how you want to see me. I know who I am, and that's it's a freeing moment in your life. I'm gonna tell you.
I have a question.
What's the question?
What inspires your look, your aesthetics? Do you just I don't know, I found in trying to express my gender, I very much copy other people because I feel so unoriginal. But do you just be I just want pink hair, so that's what we're doing today.
Pink hair?
What?
What? Again, it's are you talking about when I go on stage, or just everyday life, or what drives me as far as creativity?
Yeah.
Creativity is, I can be walking my dog. Well, I don't walk my dog anymore, but I could be doing something simple and see something, and it could be random as a car going by, and it kicks an idea in my head, and that could be a start in an outfit that I put together, or it could be a title of a song or something. Inspiration is inspiration. Get it from wherever you can get it. It's, as far as me, don't worry about copying something, because you can never copy it completely. And you're always going to put something of yourself into it, so it's never going to come out the same. So you can see somebody with banging outfit. By the time you get your self into that outfit, you're going to change it. It's going to become your outfit. So it's ideas and even for when I'm sure when she's thinking of music, it can come from just walking around, and the universe just drops off ideas into your lap, and you just run with it. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just I wasn't sure. Now, do you see? I like you're doing the pink. Is it pink?
Yeah, pink and
Pink
green.
and green. What? And I'm okay, I like it. What made you want to do that?
I actually wanted teal. And then I went to the hair store and they didn't have teal. So I saw these colors and I was like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shoes. The shoes. So yeah, shoes. Thank you.
The thing is, the fact that you wanted to go and add color to yourself is a beautiful thing, because again, you're letting yourself be known, and you're not afraid of that, and that's a beautiful thing. Too many times, especially girls of color, sometimes feel that they don't want to be seen for certain reasons, and that she was making a song about things that you don't like about yourself. So again, I'm glad that you are that strong in yourself to say, look, I'm going to rock these braids, and if you don't like them, kick rocks.
Thank you.
You're welcome, baby. You're welcome.
we had a question from Ty asking about.
Girl, you gotta. Yeah.
Sorry, we had a question from Ty asking about what the New Haven drag scene was like.
Okay. What's the question?
That was the question. What's it like? Yeah.
What's it like?
What's the New Haven drag scene like?
It's like, I mean, again, this is gonna be real silly, but it's like life, because you have good performers, you have bad performers, you have good. It's hard to get gigs sometimes, and sometimes it's easy. It is what you make of it, because the thing is, if you're determined to perform, you'll find someplace to perform. If you're really serious about performing, you'll put yourself together. I mean, you may not, especially if someone's starting off, you may not know all the things to do, but you'll align yourself with other people that you may see that you can emulate, not copy. Never copy nobody, but emulate things that you like about that person. The way they held themselves on stage, their costumes. I find the one thing I don't like about any community as far as drag is when people they have this system where it's like you have a mother, then you have like drag daughters, and I don't like when the drag daughters are carbon copies of their mothers, which means I can see this performer doing the same performance as this one because they're mother and daughter. It should never be that much similarity in any performer. And the thing is, the reason we do this is because you are creative people. Let that creativity take you into something of your own. We still have issues like America does when it comes down to people of color. Sometimes I don't see enough of my sisters, whether they be drag kings or drag queens in this community. There are a couple. There are no drag kings, which boggles my mind. There are no drag kings of color anyway. And that was a big thing in New York when I used to live in the city, even overseas when I lived in Germany. There was a really big thing with that, but not here in Connecticut. As far as, you're gonna have, you gravitate to your friends. You're gonna have good, relationships. You're gonna have bad relationships. It's never gonna be like what they show you on TV with Drag Race and everything else. Mm-hmm. No one comes out that polished. No one comes out that together. But we do what we do. We work small gigs or big gigs, and we just have fun with what we do. Did I answer the question? I don't know. Who was
Ty asked a follow-up. What was it like when you were coming up? Who were some of the girls? What? I can't see the rest of that.
It was, so Ty wants to know, who were some of the girls and what was the culture like when you were coming up?
The culture for me when I was growing up, we weren't as visible. Mm-hmm. This is something that's been in the last maybe the last 20 years that it's like, drag. You could go to a club and you're maybe one of two drag queens. Now you go to a club and you're one of 4 or 5 up to 50 drag queens because everybody wants to put on a wig. And that's something that wasn't, because back in the day, back in my day, they liked the performance, but it wasn't socially the easiest thing to do and be a drag queen as of yet. And even in the gay clubs, they liked you, but other than on stage, you were kind of like, okay, you're not on stage anymore, so you can go off to the side. It was very straight acting, because you had to hide. Most people had to hide back in the 80s and in the 90s. It wasn't as open as it is now. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have any of that stuff. So it's like, and the queens that perform, a lot of them were trans girls who would do very like elegant things, and then you had like the artsy queens who were the ones who did like the really crazy big hair and stuff like that. So there was like different sets of art and drag at that time. I mean, I think they still have it now. I mean, you have yours that want to be very polished and very feminine. And you have those who want to be, larger than life. So, it changes like every 5 to 10 years. I mean, things get a lot more. Like right now, I could be at home and order my whole kit online and not leave my house. Back in the day when I started, I had to go on a bus and a train, go to some obscure place in New York City just to get a pair of shoes. So, I mean, the kids today, I think, have it so much better than we did. I mean, we have more places to perform, but I think they have it easier to set themselves up. Any more questions? Or do I go?
I just have one more question.
Go, talk, girl. Come on.
I was wondering, like, I guess, when you said you get to the moment when it's like, you can say, kiss my ass and move on. What were some of the things that got you to that mindset? What were some of the things that led you to, be more confident and just say, like everybody else?
Well, just life. I mean, in general, you'll have that moment. But, I mean, back in the day, I mean, again, I had my issues. I mean, before I transitioned, I was a very feminine male, living in this country. And it's like people, I mean, if they didn't know me, they didn't know how to deal with me. And it was, I felt something was wrong with me. And then it was like, okay, wait a minute. I don't have any control over this. This is not something I've done to myself. This is the way I was born. So I either deal with, let them keep brain bashing me, or I say, you know what? Kick rocks and, do what you got to do, because that's what I had to do. And you get to a point where it's like, okay, you realize this is your one chance at life. I mean, depending on what you believe in as far as afterlife and all that stuff, it's up to you. But you have this one life. And are you going to be happy? Or are you going to let yourself be happy? Or are you going to keep living for other people and let other people's opinion dictate what you should do in your life? You can't do that. And when you find that much power in yourself to say, you know what? I'm going to do what I need to do, because, again, I have to get up every day and I have to make myself feel good. That's when you get that, I don't know if it's tougher skin, the feeling of like, okay, it is what it is, and I'm not going to like let someone have power over me, because people like to use, especially in our communities, they like to use the fact that if you are in hiding or you're down low or whatever, that's a way of getting you to do things you don't want to do or hurting you in some other way. And first thing, get that off the board, because no one should be treated like that. And second, life and time moves very fast. And it may seem like forever when you're 15 and 20. When it goes 20 to 30, and after 30, girl, that time clock goes. And you get in the head spin of like, okay, I can't F around anymore. I got to get myself happy. I got to do. That's when most people go into midlife crisis. No, I'm just serious, because again, you get to the point where like, wait a minute, I've been living this way for so long and I'm not happy. So what am I going to do to make myself happy? And it's like, once you get past all the ethnic stuff and whatever stuff, and you're just dealing with yourself, you got to do what you got to do. And you said something to me that really, it's not. What do you feel about your skin?
How do I feel about my skin?
Mm-hmm.
That's a question. I would say
Because you made a comment about being the only dark-skinned, one of two dark-skinned people in the community. And for me, I grew up dealing with colorism also. And the thing is, I'm going to tell you, girl, you're beautiful. So don't ever worry about if you are darker or lighter than someone else. Enjoy what you have, because the melanin in your skin right now is keeping you at a beautiful stage in your life. And when you age another 20 to 40 years, you're gonna be like, God damn, I'm beautiful.
thank you.
So don't ever let anybody or anybody's ideas of what your skin color should be ever affect you. Ever. And I can't say I'm looking in your face and I'm hoping you get this. Don't let anybody do that to you. Because honestly, that's something that you have no control over. You either. Okay? And it's going to come at you in a different way. But don't ever let anybody, especially in a culture where we all have to worry about, because most people were not brought up to say that your skin is beautiful. Your skin is beautiful. And we've all been through that situation. But if it's one thing the dragon stuff is cute, and we'll talk about that till the cows come home. But I want you guys to know what you are. Whatever you are, is what you were meant to be, and just take that and run with it. It may be a little harder for you to get foundations, or it may be a little harder for you to get the things you want to do to accent your skin. But it's out there now, and I'm telling you, it's out there. Because again, I'm not too much lighter than you. And if I can find it, and Maybelline ain't got it, I can find it. Look, there's a couple of different black companies out there right now who are printing out the right shade for you to make you look as beautiful as you want to be. You, and you. So, if anything, I just hope this younger generation finds that let themselves be as beautiful as they are. We don't have to compare ourselves to anybody else anymore. Ever again, we don't have to. There's no reason we have to. We don't have to compare. You guys don't compare each other. We shouldn't have to compare ourselves to anybody out there, Caucasian, Asian, or whatever. Because honestly, if you look at any of that stuff in the media, they're all looking at what you guys are doing. Your lips, your hair, your shape. So again, don't do it to yourself. Please don't. Don't even worry about if you are one of two people your hue. Fuck it, who gives a fuck? You shine even more. So. I'm sorry.
No, those are true.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There was appreciation in the chat too.
Yeah, everyone's saying, preaching.
I'm what?
Preaching.
People saying things in the chat.
That's a word.
Okay, we got passed around the collection plate now. A bitch is hungry. They ain't feed nobody here. I'm telling you. I got a soda, but they ain't feed me yet. Oh, we got gospel. Come on. let the church say amen. Oh my God.
Going around.
You both are on.
See, girl, you gotta get to them the Baptist notes. Like, Tina and what's her name? The big girl who just passed.
Hold on.
Oh.
Rita Franklin, you gotta, I kind of, I wish I could sing. I ain't gonna ever say I can't. I can yell a note. I can yell it out real good.
Let the church hit my Venmo at Godwynn
Okay, Ty, can you hear us? Hey, okay, yeah, Ty, definitely you can go ahead and introduce yourself and share about your work with, Baldwin Second Generation and your podcasts and just, yeah.
So I was the person in the chat, first of all, asking the questions.
One second,
reverberation.
we gotta fix the echo. I think
Okay.
Sorry.
Hey, Ty. Okay, I just want to be over here to be able to hear everybody.
Oh, cute. Did you move?
Yeah, I just went to another room.
Oh, I was like, what is happening? What is it getting? No, I was the person that was asking the questions in the YouTube chat because I was like, it's giving. I wanted some culture. I didn't even know that New Haven had a drag scene, so I'm still very flabbergasted about that and trying to figure out where the drag scene exists because what club is this in? Because I don't know what this club is. But no, outside of that, hey everybody, my name is Ty Cooper. They then there's pronouns, the baddest bitch you ever met from Virginia. I have actually I've been here before, so I've talked about Baldwin's before, but we can go back. So my work has been community based for quite some time. Actually, most of my adult life. I started here. I moved here in 2017 from Virginia. I moved to Connecticut. I was hanging out with friends or whatever, where we were trying to find spaces of Black queer folks because we were all Black and queer, and realized that there weren't any spaces. There were a couple of clubs in Connecticut that did a couple of things, but there weren't any like real like Black queer spaces besides like people's like potlucks or people's like backyard parties, barbecues, and usually like house parties and stuff. And we were like, yeah, that's cute, but like we want something a little bit more solid and something maybe more like where we can have more difficult and tougher conversations. And so I started working at this big organization who I won't name because we still got beef. But I started working at this bigger organization, and I was able to make Baldwin Second Generation a part of my work. So Baldwin Second Generation, the first ever summit happened in it was April 27th, 2019. And it was amazing, huge turnout. So many Black queer folks showed up. People were super happy. It was dope. And then the second, we did it again the next year. But of course, COVID hit in 2020, so it was virtual. And that was a struggle. I'm not going to hold anybody. It was really hard. It was difficult. The girls were like, help. I am the girls. The girls are me. I was like, we needed all the help we could get. And so, yeah, we did a second virtual summit in 2020, and then we took a year off in 2021, trying to figure out what we wanted to do. So in the midst of this year off, we got some grant money from this amazing foundation. And we started a podcast called The Bussy Next Time. Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. Bussy. Right. The Bussy Next Time. Which is like this amazing podcast that I do with two amazing co-hosts. And friends of mine. And we decided we were like, we really like talking shit. We like being messy. We like talking about the girls. We like talking to the girls. We like dragging the girls when they need to be dragged. We like giving what's supposed to be gave. And honestly, the podcast came out of a space of I think one of the things that came out of my work and one of the things that came out of being a part of a space like Baldwin's is that I learned that like everything, like our community needs so much, and it's not my job to do everything. I cannot be everything for everyone. I cannot create space for everyone. And I was like, what can I give to my community that's a part that's holistic to me and true to me, but like something that brings me joy? Because, at some point, Baldwin stopped being joyful and joyous because it became a labor, right? It became painful. It became, people were nasty, people were rude, people were disrespectful to like the work we were doing. People were claiming my ideas it's like their own. People were claiming that like, we had stolen it from someone else. And I was just like, I don't like, this isn't what I signed up for. And the space is not worth me losing my sanity over trying to keep it intact. So from that, we got the Bussy Next Time, which is hilarious. And it gave me opportunity to talk about a lot of the tougher things that like I had been wanting to talk to and wanted to have and wanted the summit to be about, but like that wasn't able to like come to fruition because we had only had 2 summits. And I was like, well, I still have shit I want to talk. Well, can I cuss? What's the rule?
Yes.
Okay, like is YouTube demonetizing folks or how is that going? But yeah, it was like I wanted the Bussy Next Time to be like very that, yes, dragging the girls, very that. But yeah, I was like, I really wanted it to be like a labor of love, but also something that like I could do that brought me joy. And so I was like, all right, cool. So we did our first podcast episode in August. It aired in September, and we have maybe like 9 out now. And we just dropped one about Marvel, which was a mess because 2 of my co-hosts, so one of my co-hosts and I love the Marvel films, like we love Marvel in general. And the other one is like, girl, she's cute, but I'm not watching. So it was really a conversation of us explaining all 28 movies to her because like that was it. But like things like that, like they bring me joy to be in community with folks who make me happy. And so yeah, I think that my work has expanded from being this big, huge like platform of like all types of people showing up to spaces in person to have conversations with me, saying I can offer you a little bit of shade, a lot of knowledge, and some real cute conversations. Please note that these are AAVE terms. Oh, somebody is reading the girls in the comments already. I didn't have to say anything. Yes. But yeah, I think that dismantling Baldwin and turning Baldwin and taking the work that we had done with Baldwin and putting it into the podcast was great. Is there a link I can go to find your podcast? Am I supposed to be reading these? Are you reading these or am I reading these? Or
No, I mean you're good. You can read them too.
I was like, who am I reading these to? Okay, yes, there is a link. I don't know where I can post it, but I always have it because you know I'm that girl. So I will send it to Lauren. Do you want to do a thing, or do I put it in a chat? I mean, I can send it to you. How do you want to?
Send it to me and I'll see if I can figure out how to put it in the chat.
Bet.
Oh wait. Can you type it as a comment?
Can I type it as a comment? I can. Attempt. Let's see what it's giving on my end. But yeah, I think that like what came out of I think a lot of that grief and the pain of dealing with Baldwin and even like living because we were it's still a pandemic, right? We were in a pandemic, and I think that to expect people to continue to be working as certain to expect people to continue to be working and continue to be giving 100% of themselves in the middle of like a pandemic in which people were like losing their lives and dying and folks lost jobs and had to move and relocate was a lot. And I think that all of that took a toll on all the folks that I was working with and not just me. And so yeah, it was nice to like shut Baldwin down completely and be like, you know what, we did our last summit, we love you all, but like we're doing this podcast and this podcast only. If you want to come through and listen to us be messy for an hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever, then do that. And if not, that's also perfectly fine. But now we're doing it for joy and we're just sharing it with everybody else. And we got some cute little followers and people be like, oh, y'all are so nice and we're funny. And I'm like, thank you. I'm glad somebody's listening, even if only 10 of y'all. We love to see it. So yeah, I think that is like the bare bones of it all, like how I got into this, like how I started the podcast, or how we started the podcast, I should say. Shout out to my other co-host and our marketing person, Erin, who's amazing and makes all of our shit by hand. Because I wasn't doing that shit. I wasn't that girl. But yeah, I shout out to those folks because, like, again, we wouldn't be doing anything. I wouldn't be able to do anything without them, and also like they're dope and they make doing the podcast fun. And again, I get to be super messy. Like, I'm being messy for real. I want to do a conversation about Black men so bad, and I know when I go to do it, someone's gonna be up in arms, and I'm like, I am ready. I'm prepared to be dragged because the girl's gonna be like, "Who do you think you are?" And I'm like, a person that's been dealing with Black men all my life. Like, I think there's like a bigger conversation that I really want to have about Black men and accountability. Like all these other pieces, I want to talk about like the erasure of like genderqueer folks, because I think amongst other Black folks. I think that like the conversation of like me being agender and like not having a space to exist in and like having a voice, like, being able to voice my concerns is a thing that happens to like a lot of people who are in my space. Especially like if you're not always femme presenting, like there are other pieces to the puzzle that people don't think about. So yeah, I'm thinking about those conversations, having discussions about like why are we still supporting abusers? Like I have like there are a lot of things that are I'm hoping we can do in the works that are coming up. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's definitely. I love that. Like you said, you started off with Baldwin's, and then like it was working for a little bit, but then you had to put it down and say, like, I feel like that's what a little bit of what Bubbles was talking about too. Just like really letting the creativity go, like shine through, and just doing whatever it is that like you need to do to still have the joy in the experience. So yeah.
This is true. Yeah, I'm also feeling a lot freer these days, not as stressed, not trying to argue with nobody. Like it's very nice. Like I get to mind my business. I get to, again, like I said, talk shit. Most people are like, "Oh my gosh, are you gonna have another summit, girl?" No. Because like and that's the thing too, right? Like I bowed out at a time where I felt other people were also starting to pick up on doing other summits. So there were other models that were coming out and people were like, I'd rather go to this. And I was like, absolutely fine, great, wonderful, fantastic. Because if that's the case, I don't have to keep doing this anyway, because y'all have found community in other spaces. And that frees me up from so much anxiety and stress. And like also I think it was important for me to note that like when it was done, like it was done, right? Like when I knew like when it was time to like end this and kind of just focus on this one thing, I was like, great. And yeah, like I said, I think it's really interesting when you realize that like your like my community needs so much, and again, like I said, I can only offer so much of myself, and that like self-preservation is more important to me than like falling on the sword and being a martyr for my communities. To be able to say, oh, I did this thing for folks, even though like I'm exhausted, tired, and mentally drained. Like that's not what. Who does that? That doesn't benefit anybody, especially not me. So, yeah. I'm trying to post this comment in the chat. Let me see if it worked. Although our chat is private, I think.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Oh, it worked. Okay, cool.
Well, I see it in the private chat. Oh wait, okay, Patrick's gonna move it. Do we have any questions in the audience for Ty?
I just found where all these comments are. I had no idea they were right here. This is why you're supposed to show up on time, Tyrell, because you're a mess. Like, this is why you should have showed up on time.
No, you're good.
I'm a mess. I was like, why can't I see this?
Yeah.
Now I can. All these comments.
Okay. I was gonna go see if Aquila or anybody else in the audience. Do y'all have questions? You might have to come in here, I guess. But
I wish I knew how this was working, because of course I'm at home, so I see nothing.
yeah, it's like I'm in one room and like you have a couple people in the other room. Like
I was like, where's everybody at? I have so many questions. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, hey, party people, what's happening? What's it giving?
I guess I was wondering when you said, what's your favorite thing, or like, what's one of your favorite episodes of your podcast?
We did a podcast episode about Black mysticism and Black magic, Black mysticism, like Black not Black magic, but like Black folks doing magic. And I got to drag. I know a lot of people loved Lovecraft Country. I hated every second. And I got to tell people on the podcast how much I hated that fucking show and how messy they were with the characters. And I don't, spoiler alerts, I guess, because it's not renewed, so I don't know how much I can spoil. I don't know how much I can spoil because she's not coming back. But Lovecraft Country did such a sloppy job with like the way they handle some of the the only I think trans character. This narrative around black men being like MSMs or men who have sex with men who aren't open or who aren't like out, and I was tired of that shit. And like the way they tried to they tried to quietly like one of the characters had named his dog Baldwin. I think it was like a nod to like black folks, or like about James Baldwin. And I was like, first of all, where's the respect? Like, not you naming a dog after James Baldwin and be like, here, y'all representation. With an animal, it's giving Disney.
Yeah,
it's giving the Princess and the Frog.
Yes, it really is.
It's giving the Princess and the Frog. We want reparations. We want quality now. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, I was the original story was written by a white guy. What original story?
A Princess and the Frog or a Lovecraft Country?
Of Lovecraft. Oh yeah, Lovecraft Country was written by a white guy. The book something Lovecraft. I can't remember what that man's name is, but I do know it was originally written by a white guy, which makes sense. But I also feel like a black person adapted it and could have taken more liberties and like didn't. So I'm like, what was your choices? And when the person was held accountable about the conversation, they paid it. But like, I had so much fun dragging Lovecraft Country. I also dragged a couple other terrible examples of this. I was like, what are y'all doing? It's not giving. So yeah, I that was my favorite episode, I think, to date. And so now, yeah, I love Crown Sounds Cringe. It is also, I don't know if anybody has also seen Once on This Island or like heard of the musical Once on This Island, but the story behind that also very much pisses me off. Because I'm flabbergasted. But like, I talked about that. It was a lot of good ones, but I also talk about like a lot of my favorite like me and my co-host Bria talk about like a lot of our favorite moments from other movies. Like oh gosh, we were talking about there's I'm not me blanking. I should be ashamed. This is like my top 5 movies. Eve's Bayou. Have you ever seen Eve's Bayou?
I haven't.
Oh, sweet. What is going on? Baby. Eve's Bayou is an amazing, I'm not going to give y'all too much. It's an amazing story about a girl who has powers, and essentially her family has something happen in it, and like she's trying to figure out what this he is and what it's giving. But it's so well done. It's very like black gothic horror, and I mean it's not even really horror, but like black gothic. I love it. And we talked about like how well that was done. And we talk about like the 2 black wizards on Sabrina because all we got was Ambrose and my other favorite. So it was like, that was it. And I was like, wow, thank you so much for the 2 black people that we get to see every couple of episodes. So yeah, it was a couple of cute things. And I knew the black lead was going to die because he was a black lead. I also hated Tick. I don't know how many people have seen Lovecraft Country, but again, you did. What have you? So does Yale not give you any freedom to like watch others? Like, are you just swamped in work and like can't breathe?
Yeah.
And that's why my ass didn't go there.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, grad school, no.
Yeah, me too.
I'm stressed. I'm stressed for you, babe. I'm stressed for you. But yeah, no, that was my favorite episode, and I'm really happy we got to put it out because it was a lot of fun to drag a lot of people's favorite shows because they were trash.
Yeah. Let me go see if anybody in our other room has any questions.
Ooh, look at me being able to be on screen for myself. Ooh, work. I directed a documentary on gender reassignment surgery called T-Girl. Ooh, so close. T-Girl, the truth about transitioning. Not a self-plug. Not a self-plug.
Somebody in the chat said hi, Ty.
I read Tyler, and I'm like, who's Tyler?
Oh.
Hey.
What was the documentary thing?
Somebody, yeah, that I directed a documentary on gender reassignment surgery called T-Girl and the truth of transitioning.
Wow.
So I'm gonna ask a question that may get me Are you a trans person? Did you have any trans folks in this writer's room or like in this space where you? I'm only asking because I'm just like, if we're gonna give a documentary about transitioning medically, then like I would. Did you have the? Were you one of the girls or? Just asking. Lauren, you always look. Every time we interact in a space like this, you look so like, oh my gosh, you just look like you are consistently like afraid of like what's gonna happen or what I'm gonna say next.
No, I'm just like wondering, like, it's kind of crickets. So.
It is. It's So you have the same question too.
Well, I'm just curious about the answer.
Mm. Did you did no one had a question on the other side?
No,
Oh.
they're just enjoying Kiki.
Oh, hi, I say hi.
Aquile says hi.
Okay, but you can come say it to the camera though.
Come
What
say
is it like? Come say it to my face. What is this giving?
I don't say hi, just hi.
Come and hear you.
Like I'm some redheaded stepchild. Like what is it giving? Like you don't know me. You don't have my phone number.
Hello.
You literally have my phone number and also like could have came to the camera. What is it giving?
I'm sorry.
What type of ghetto shit is this? Like I'm some random stranger.
Listen, the text setup, we on separate rooms, so it's a little bit off.
No, I heard that like because I caught a cold and I had to be extra with allergies.
It's alright. It's alright.
Right. I was like, so it's not giving.
But it's so good to see you. It's like,
The
and we're,
same.
just,
I
we're
mean-
in the other room, we're just like cracking up and laughing.
Oh, okay. I'm reading it. Can you see the comment on your screen?
Yeah, collaborative Black trans women to tell her
Tell
story.
a story.
Cool.
Okay. All right. I got a few more questions, but that works.
Some people are rethink your take on Lovecraft countries and just listen. I have no investment.
Who said my take on Lovecraft? Who said it? It was your full chest. Like, I mean, let me tell you how. If it's not you, tell whoever
Oh
has
my
the
god.
commentary to like pull up.
Bubbles just loves
I
the
want
show.
all the smoke. Who
Bubbles
loves the
loves
show?
the show. And
Okay, well, tell Bubbles to come say it with your full chest.
Should we come in here then?
I don't know.
That show is raggedy. I can see Bubbles on the screen.
All I saw was that Bubbles loved the show.
And that show was raggedy. That show, like, defend your stance. That show is trash, and every second of it was. Them first 2 episodes were amazing. After that, it was a shit show. It was a wreck, a train wreck.
We were also laughing at your podcast because I do listen to your podcast and it gives me joy. Every episode gives me joy. Because y'all are so ratchet.
I feel like honestly, this is so one of it really. So this podcast, and we're going to keep it a buck. This podcast actually came from one of the at our last time we did a workshop, and the workshop was just me talking shit for like an hour. People keyed about it. People loved it, and I was like, all right, let's do a podcast.
Wait, I
think we can hear you.
Yeah, about the Lovecraft.
Oh wait,
Uh-huh.
it's gonna be an echo if you turn the volume.
Yeah, so I just muted it. Turn it down.
We don't hear the echo on this end, or at least I'm not hearing it.
Yeah, I don't hear it either.
So it might just be y'all.
No.
Turn the sound off here, and you'll be able to hear. You should hear there.
It wasn't that loud.
Oh, it'll probably get turned down.
Okay,
I'm
wait.
thinking if you like, I think you have to go into the other room
To hear
Okay,
them.
Nemo Walker.
Yeah.
Please. Let's go.
Oh wait, oh no,
What?
we gotta figure something.
I'm
We
gonna
can
read
hear
this
you.
comment while
You're
y'all
not
try to
here.
figure that out.
Can't hear.
Y'all miss yourselves.
Oh, it's because I think.
So I wasn't. So what is it, DJ Ephraim? I wasn't saying that your connection to
Oh,
Black
it's just really
Trans
quiet,
Women
that's all.
makes sense. My
right,
feedback
never
or my
mind. Let it go.
question.
I did.
Not let it go.
Okay, do we want to
Okay.
do this? Are you gonna go in there, Bubbles?
I mean,
It was
if
really
it's that serious,
powerful.
I'll do it. I mean, I don't know if you guys.
What happened?
How much
Like
time do we
the
got?
collaboration. I was just reading the comment.
Huh?
What time?
Right.
Oh, I guess we don't have that much time, but
Oh no, we can't hear her.
Get me on the show. I'll come talk about it on the show. Let me know, because we can do it then.
Got it.
I would love to debate you on some love crab.
It's trash.
Not a problem. And it's
It's
okay that you think it's trash, but we all have our own opinion. And that's okay.
But opinions can be wrong.
At the end of the day, it's okay. It's okay.
Opinions can be wrong. That show is so bad. No.
I need clothes.
I'm sorry.
Also in response to this comment from DJ Ephraim, I'm not concerned about the bond, right? My concern was like my question. The reason why I asked is because I feel like there are plenty of Black men, Black queer men, Black gay men, who take up space and like don't honor the folks who get their stories from, and don't honor the fact that they have a whole connection to a community of folks that they also erase, ignore, and disrespect, and sometimes kill. That was why I asked, what was the connection like? Were you honoring the folks, or were you able to put the folks who are a part of the documentary at the forefront? And honestly, like, your answer was fine. I was just curious if like that was what happened. And after you said what you said, I wanted a bit more information, but you kind of went into detail in this comment, and that's cool. And also, I don't know if I necessarily agree with if that Black men are murdered at a higher rate, because I feel like how many times have we seen police brutality occur with trans and non-binary genderqueer folks, and like they misgender us in the news and misgender us in our deaths.
Yeah.
So like there aren't any accurate numbers to depict non-binary, trans, other queer folks who may not fit into the binary about what our experiences are, because no one's counting the numbers and no one sees our genders as valid anyway.
I want to end on something positive. So tell me what's been giving you joy lately.
Yeah, we can go around and everybody say it.
Yeah. We'll ask Ty first and then we'll ask everybody.
Not me. Not it being considered negative. I wouldn't call it
I wasn't saying it was negative.
I wouldn't call it
a positive John.
Also, I'm really here for this hair. Thank you so much. It's really giving. Right. It's giving. It's a look. It's a look. What's been bringing me joy lately? I think what's been bringing me joy lately is minding my actual business. I am drinking water. I'm boxing 3 times a week. I am minding my business. Right. It's great. And I'm like, it feels good to just do. And I mean, we can talk about like how boxing has become like a form of self-care for me. Really, it's like a release, because I be wanting to smack the shit out of people, but I can't do that without going to jail. And then I'm like, all right, well, I can. Right. And I was about to get I was gonna be like, we wanted to pull a Will Smith on some people out here in these streets, but I can't do that because I'm going to jail. Will Smith got money. I am going to jail. No, look, I've been trying to find like some joy and like just doing my own thing and minding my own business. Because I'm no longer invested in a lot of I'd be tired. Like, so yeah, that's where my joy is at. And also, I'm upset because I had joy in the outfit that I wore, but no one saw it because I couldn't come, and I'm also sitting down.
You want to stand up for a second?
I mean, you can't. It's like a whole tool skirt crop top situation. Mama, let me see.
Do it. Yes.
Okay, just a little bit. Like, can I give it to the girls a little bit?
I'm here for it.
Okay, just a little bit. It's a repeat outfit, but who cares? Because nobody saw it last time. So
loving it for you.
Okay, I'm good now. That's what's bringing me joy.
I think Lauren's gonna ask in the other room.
Oh, cute.
Okay. The question is what is giving you joy right now? Is that the question? Yeah.
Is that to everyone?
Yeah, to everyone. Oh. What's something that's bringing you joy? So, I don't know, you want to start?
I'll start. I'll kind of just hop off of what Ty was saying. I think that something that's been giving me joy has also been minding my business. I'm a Virgo rising. So I feel like, I don't know, I've just been falling into routine a little bit more. I don't know, I feel like it doesn't take me much to like be like overwhelmed with bliss and happiness. I feel like a very blue sky will do that, or like a moonrise will do that, or I don't know, just like a nice like breeze at the right velocity, a good cup of coffee. I think that's it. I think that part of what's been giving me joy is kind of just like favoring like my humanity. And I think that without going like too deep or being like that guy about it, I think that like so often queer people and queer Black people particularly are conditioned to underreact to everything that happens to us to accommodate for like white people and like straight people's inability to perceive us as human, let alone to like recognize our like divinity. So being able to like just in my mind cosplay as like this divine being or whatever who gets to like have coffee in the morning, like I don't know, like it sounds so like weird, but I've been savoring those moments, savoring like my aliveness, because I feel like in that I'm a justice queer, y'all. I'm a justice queer, but like in that I feel like me enjoying my life, me having moments of joy, period. It's like this wasn't supposed to happen. Like I wasn't even supposed to be here. So anytime I can be here and be happy at the same time, someone's mad about it, and I'm very much living for those moments. Those moments of you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like yeah. That's it. I love that.
What am I happy about? What brings me joy? I'm really happy I'm not Will Smith right now. But other than that, no.
I would have loved to smack the shit out. Smack Chris Rock.
He's gonna be in the moment. He's gonna be in the hot seat for a moment.
What he said? Hold on. I'm gonna go in the other room.
What brings me joy is spending time with my family. And right now I got my nephew who wasn't very close to me, is living with me and my mom at the moment, and that brings me joy.
Yeah.
Because I see him as an aspiring young Black man who has a future in front of him, and it's a joy to be able to see where he's going in life, and that's a beautiful thing for me. Yeah. And Will, if you watch this, take Jada out the house, dummy.
What?
Wait.
You dumb.
What is happening?
I wouldn't smack nobody for her.
Wait.
Sorry.
Okay, so are we being anti? What is it at the end? You want to take Jada out the equation as in Chris? You know what? I got time today. Let's read the girls. What they got to do about her love? She can love more than one person at once. And who are you to be checking people about who they love?
I'm dead.
What is this giving?
Keeping it real.
Is that what it's giving? Is keeping it real or it's a mess?
Wait, Ty, say what you said again real quick.
I said, is it keeping it real or is it a mess?
Love it.
Are we keeping it real or is it
Like, is it a mess?
I didn't read it.
Mute me, please. It's the echo thing. Also, what I was when you before you come over here, I was like, I love your voice. I know your music.
Thank you.
I love your voice and I know your music. Hi.
You.
Yes.
Wow.
My friends love your music too. The ones that are from Connecticut put me on. Yes.
I'm an international girl.
Yeah, the children are picking up the albums and picking up the music. They're like, yes, it's tasty. Tastes good.
It's giving tantalizing.
It's
Tantalizing and delicious.
Very that. It is
Thank
giving that. Yes, the
Thank
children
you.
love it.
Oh. Okay, so back to Will.
Smacking the shit. Okay, so can we talk? Because I don't know what I missed from Bubbles. But what I will say is that Chris Rock has been talking shit about Black folks in white spaces and clowning us in front of these white folks for years. He also is the one who made a documentary about Black hair and Black women with Black hair issues, and then turned around and talk shit about Jada having alopecia on TV. And y'all also, let me be clear, Will Smith has also been played in by everybody. Will Smith has been taking air to burn everybody's jokes. Will Smith has been real cavalier about when people have been coming about him, they take him and things. He took it in stride. But y'all gonna stop trying people. 100% gonna stop trying people. Chris Rock deserved that shit. Even if it wasn't for Jada.
He did. And let me tell you one more thing. Let me just make one addition. I think that the thing for me is the fact that so many white people, sorry y'all, so many white people have like been weighing in on like, oh my God, this is like toxic masculinity, because now they can see it because it's a Black person. First of all, this situation has nothing to do with you. So it baffles and boggles me why you have found a place for yourself in this conversation that literally has nothing to do with you. Number one. Number two, I think that when people are coming to Chris's defense, the way that they're coming to Chris's defense and being like, Will is a monster. I think that white people see themselves in Chris. And let me tell you how. I feel like they weren't ready to see an example of how somebody could possibly hold another person of their same demographic accountable in the way that Will did. I think that the fear wasn't, I don't think that the fear was of toxic masculinity. I don't think it was violence. I don't think it was any of those things. I think it was the accountability that had the girls.
Right, because I feel like people also have to be like, especially in our community, when like sometimes somebody's got to get smacked. Sometimes you just get smacked, and it's just as simple as that. If you're gonna be out here talking shit with your chest, be ready to defend yourself with it. Like, be ready to defend yourself.
Right. But wait a minute. If that was the case, why is he apologizing now?
I said the same thing. I agree. I don't know why he apologized. Well, I know why he apologized.
You have Browlick in the beginning, run with it and keep it. You won't say the next morning. When
I agree.
Now
I agree.
They talk about they may take his Oscar and shit away. Again, I'm sorry.
I wish they
would. Who cares? But also, who cares about white people and their accolades given to us?
If that was the case, he would have never been at this show. If he didn't give a damn about that Oscar, he would have never showed up.
But that's okay. So what I'm kind of
more of a fuck about Jada.
Okay, the pussy is a big strong thing, and it got Will fucked up. It's got him fucking for many years.
I don't. Wow. So I also feel like, again, I don't know if that is. Oh, okay. So
yeah. He left the first baby mama for Jada.
Okay, well, I mean,
and he been on her tip. He been on her tip for the longest time.
Oh
the fact that he went on that Red Top show and let her talk about how she said with all the other people and didn't do nothing to him. Okay.
But I don't know what that has to do with him defending with and let's also be clear.
Okay. What I'm saying is he is stuck on her. He laughed at the joke until he looked over and saw that she was all upset about it.
And that's all it takes. To me,
I also feel like
I think that that's all it takes. Like if he saw the effects like after the fact, and he looked over and he was like, oh, like I'm thinking like even if I was with like a partner or whatever, and I thought that some shit was funny, and I saw them about to cry, I'm fighting too. Like I don't know.
And not just that, I feel like
I got Taurus
in my chart. Do you fight or do you catch him after the show and put your foot in his ass?
I will also say this. I'm a person who I have laughed at people's like at people's jokes out of discomfort, not out of comfort, right? So like I have laughed at something out of a response because that is part of a performance that I have to put on when I'm around a certain group of people, right? And so for me, I know what it's like when I am around folks and I have to like act in a particular way, because if I don't, it becomes an issue. And so a part of me wonders if that's also a Will. The Will was like, ha ha ha, look at my wife, now it's beef, and now I'm ready to whoop Chris's ass. And somebody saying he's apologizing because he's famous. Agree. I mean, I also believe that. I feel like I truly do not think Will Smith is sorry at all for smacking the shit out of Chris Rock.
He is sorry
I
because
do not
he
think
knows
so.
that's okay. Right now, we're in a cancel culture. He knows. He
I don't
knows
think
that
cancel culture exists.
no. Right now, we are in cancel culture, meaning that
are we
enough people online be up, girl, but they will never get rid of him. But the same things that they did, like to Whoopi Goldberg and other people, they can fuck up your career.
But is that
Chris? That means Chris Brown wouldn't have a job if cancel culture was real.
But Chris
Nas
Brown
wouldn't have a job.
Okay, he's being funny. He may be an asshole. He didn't go up on national TV and actually hit anybody.
I'm sorry, he was just transphobic and violent, and then stalk. Who are we talking about? Because a lot of these men have also committed
we're talking about Will Smith.
crimes.
We're talking about Will Smith and him, what he did. Now, again, Chris Rock is not my favorite person in the world either. I don't think everything he said was funny. I really don't.
I am responding to your comment about cancel culture and how you think it's, and how you were like, it's real. And I was like, if it's real, then there are plenty of other folks who should have careers and jobs.
And true. But
they still have careers and jobs. They're still getting money. Netflix just gave, Netflix is continuing on with their partnership with Dave Chappelle. Although every trans person I know is like, what the fuck are you doing? Cancel culture does not work. People say this to all here like,
it's not real.
It's not real.
If that was the case, like again, people's
okay. We must, again, Dave Chappelle again. They tried to get rid. He went on a whole rant about how they were trying to cancel his shows and everything else. Okay, so again, if it wasn't real, then what was he complaining about?
My thing is just the fact that he is not exempt from accountability.
No,
like it takes people to like keep someone accountable, to hold somebody accountable.
True.
I feel like the way that people, particularly white people, are responding to Will right now. Oh, he should be arrested. He's like, I feel like this. I feel like that. I feel like that is a completely different situation when you add the layer of race on top of that.
I agree.
Which we have learned from white women before. Like that's different. You know what I'm saying? However, with Dave Chappelle, the fact that people are like, oh, you know, like we don't like people have said like we don't approve of what he has done, and yet he still has a career. He still has like this platform upon which he can harm people because he's still making people money. He still benefits from his proximity to whiteness. He still benefits from the ability to like just do what he's doing. He benefits from the thing about Dave Chappelle, and I've been waiting for an opportunity to say this shit for a very long time. For a very my thing is like Dave Chappelle has a captive audience to witness his constant mourning, his perpetual mourning of that 1 degree away from whiteness that he is, in my opinion.
Well, again, everybody.
Oh, shit.
I don't see that. I don't see.
In my opinion,
I mean,
I think he's sad about it because that whole special. Let's go into the special because that whole special, he spent like 37 minutes being like, oh, you know, like I'm black and this is this and this, but then trans people can do this and this and blah 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 blah. It's like,
but how does that go from 1 degree of whiteness?
Because he is a man.
Uh-huh.
He is heterosexual.
Mm-hmm.
He is, what's it called? Like he has a lot of privilege on his side, except for the fact that he's black.
And to be honest, what we also don't talk about is the fact that there's a lot of like the way that masculinity and like manhood works is that historically manhood has only been given to white men. So like a lot of the conversation that's not happening is about how like sometimes like there are black men who are striving to reach manhood, and what that means is assimilating and trying to be white, but you will never be the type of man that we are talking about and never assimilate to a certain form of manhood because you are not a white man.
Mm-hmm.
But
so then black men will take these privileges and enforce them on the rest of us.
We've had in history a lot of black men who they didn't follow white culture. Okay, but the thing is, if you look at by the 60s and the 70s, our family like the dynamics were so skewed that you look at the parenthood and being a black male in this society is really it's so many different things right now. It's not even funny, and that's my opinion. Okay,
I mean,
I grew up when being a black man meant you take care of your family, meant that you worked and you did what you had to do for yourself. It wasn't about running streets and doing this and doing that. I mean, you didn't have to go through all that as far as like smacking people, because again, you were always in a position of like I know myself. I don't have to worry about what someone else is doing.
I
would have smacked Chris Rock for a black woman. I just want that on record.
to be and for myself.
Okay, again,
and for myself, just for myself.
That's for me.
Because Chris Rock is raggedy as shit. Like, this is also the same man who got on a podcast with another white man. It was like he got on a podcast with a white man. It was like allowing him to say the N-word and then refer to him as the funniest the funniest black white person he's ever met, except he didn't use black word. I mean, he didn't say black. He said the N-word. And I was like,
who is that?
What does it get Chris Rock?
And I'm like, that's something I've never seen, so I can't speak on it.
It supplies nothing.
Right. And I mean also
it
supplies nothing.
What do you mean?
Someone said right.
Someone said that what he's talking about that right now is a situation I've never seen, so I can't speak on it. Is what I'm saying.
Someone said I would actually say cancel culture is a white privilege, that the same dynamics do not apply to black celebrities. I agree, except I think the only person we have actually canceled and I've seen that shit actually work for is Chrisette Michelle. That is the only person I have seen the black community say when we mean you are canceled, you are canceled. Now I'm not gonna hold y'all. I was a big Chrisette Michelle fan, so I didn't completely stop listening to her. But she just recently has been able to get like a redemption arc of like being able to be respected or like being seen as an artist again and being booked for gigs and stuff. But in that same token, there was a dark-skinned black woman who got canceled, and I'm like, how many other like men who have also been out here like
doing, you don't remember when they canceled shit? Question. I know this is. I mean, how? Okay, you know when they canceled Whoopi Goldberg, right?
When was Whoopi canceled? Whoopi took out a job.
No, but wait a minute. For many years, she was canceled out of. Okay, for many years they put her. She didn't have a job until she got back on The View. I'm just saying. If you look back through time, there's a lot of black people that got canceled out for one reason or another. And it was hard for them to work.
But these are black women, correct?
Huh?
These are dark-skinned black women, correct?
Yes.
Oh, so Whoopi Goldberg, Chrisette Michelle. We could talk about Carrie Hilson, but I don't want to.
I mean, again, that's another one, but she's not dark.
We could talk about Carrie Hilson, but I don't even know if I want to get into like the messiness of that. But no, I think that like I think the dynamic too is different, like when it comes to genders, right? About how that looks, because people are still asking for Megan Thee Stallion's head over the situation that happened with her and Tory Lanez, and I'm like, what are we like? Want her to like get? People have been trying to get her dropped from the label. Didn't want her to do the show that she has on HBO with the girls anymore, like all types of stuff. And I was like, over her coming forward about something that happened to her and her body with the man that. I'm just so confused, right? And like Tory Lanez also, let's be clear, is still in America making music and going to tours and like showing up on stage and shit. Like nothing ever happened.
I think that the thing about cancel culture is that when it comes to privilege, people understand that privilege holds power. So in order to protect that privilege, a lot of people have to pretend as though they don't have it, right? So cancel culture, I think, has been made up so that it's just like, oh, like now I'm the one being oppressed. Now I am the victim in this situation.
Oh.
Even though I have done something wrong, even though I have like antagonized like hundreds and thousands of people en masse, I'm somehow the victim because people are saying something about it. This is how I can like, you know, be one of the oppressed girls.
And you know what's funny? I just got a text from one of my friends that's watching, and she was like, what about Isaiah Banks? And I was like,
what?
Isaiah Banks, the rapper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Isaiah Banks is also a dark-skinned black woman who got canceled for talking a lot of shit. I can't believe. You know what? So I think it's funny. Diddy still has an entire career, and I can't figure out how.
Can we talk about? I think that
I'm out.
I think that for me, like the more I think about it, like in fact, forget Diddy for a second. Talking about we're gonna figure it out. Who's gonna figure it out, Diddy?
Who Diddy? Who?
You're not my dad. Anyway. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway. Diddy, you're not my dad. Like anyway.
I was never at. Also, can someone check the time? Like, are they gonna kick us off this live at some point? Because I know that like we are streaming across 2 platforms, and I'm trying to figure out who is still letting us talk as if like the time is not up.
Is it? Oh, thank you.
Oh, we got a wrap. Oh, okay. Okay. Wait, I have one last thing to say. If you are a Black non-man and in entertainment and have an opinion, your opinion is an occupational hazard. That's it.
Oh my.
I guess she told anybody out there who wasn't a man.
That's it.
That's it. Well, I was just saying, clearly we all need to be on the pussy next time. we just had a guest episode of new location episode of the pussy next time.
Oh, we did not because it was not recorded, and I got nothing, y'all, unless it's saved.
Yeah, I think we gotta start wrapping up, but thank you so much, Ty and Ro and Bubbles and the Pride Center and the office, and this is so fun. We need to do this again. And Ty, when we feel better, we can all get together in person and talk the same shit. So
I'm the worst of it is over. I just didn't want to come in and be like, doing the most. Because I am all right. Because I am still coughing and stuff.
Yeah.
Just not as much, but yeah, like I should be good. But like I would argue with say about Wednesday, Thursday, I should be pretty good. So yeah, I'll be free to do things again.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it. We're trying to make sure we don't get cut off because I don't know if the broadcast will just end. But yeah, thank you again. It was so good to see you. Thank you so much, Bubbles.
No worries.
We'll be back, I guess, another time for some Lovecraft Country.
Oh yeah. But they don't cancel the show, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
See, that's what I said. I canceled, so my point is clear. That shit was trash. The show isn't even coming back. So the truck. Look at the material. The show is canceled. Where is she going? Nowhere.
That don't mean nothing because again, they've canceled good shows and bad shows too. That don't mean nothing. I still like it. I don't give a damn.
True. All right, but yeah, do I just close this? Do I just leave leave studio? So I just leave?
I'm not sure, but
what is happening, Lauren?